All right, my great friend Jon Nutt joins me now, CEO of Full Metal Dojo. You're a busy man this week, dude. You have a show to prepare for. You're teaming up with Camsoda. People might remember Camsoda legends in the US. Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington showed up to that one, I believe. And Felony, we don't call him Crazy Horse anymore. He fought on that card. So there's the hardcores in America who are very, very excited about this one. And it's not your usual FMD show, right? There's some unusual elements to this one.
Yeah, well, again, with the pandemic being what the pandemic is, everybody kind of has to change. You and I both know about that. I mean, heck, again, like, how lucky are we that we were able to sign a life-changing travel show, Eat, Play, Fight, just before a pandemic goes and you can't travel anywhere. I mean, dreams come true and then they are doused. So everybody has to change. For this, Andy, I mean, again, we talk regularly, but for those who would care, when this all happened, you know, I for a long time have always reached out to other organizations and have always wanted to work with other organizations. I love growing the game, not just for myself, but for others. I'm working on the WLC show, you know what I mean? That like 3 days after the FMD show. So still have working with the BKFC guys as well, trying to promote them over here in Asia. So a lot on the plate. But again, with Corona, you know, it's better to be busy than to be bored, you know. 100%. So I wouldn't change anything. But yeah, you know, again, the Camsoda guys are legends over there in the States for doing weird stuff, and I think that I'm kind of the oddball out in terms of Asian MMA, especially these days. And they see things very similar to me, you know. I've always thought that FMD was a rated R product, you know, when we can compare fights to cinematic portrayals. This was never supposed to be Disney. This was never supposed to be Marvel. This was always supposed to be Quentin Tarantino, Stanley Kubrick, you know. So what better way to tell people that I'm an 18+ show than going with an 18+ streaming platform, you know. The Camsoda guys, they see the same vision as I do. They don't think that fighting should be for kids. And I don't think that fighting should be for kids. And, man, we've got some cool things that are going to go on in the future. Again, I think that this will be a partnership that will really work out for everybody. And when it does, we will obviously do more shows. They particularly want circus fights, so that's what we're bringing in, Circus Fights Volume 1. Not normals, the things that they can't do around the Nevada State Athletic Commission. You know, so 2 versus 1s are going to happen. Open weights are going to happen. Let weight fights are going to happen. BK is going to happen. You know what I mean? But man, have you ever been to Camsoda there, guy with a wife?
I actually hadn't heard of it before they got involved in MMA. I think it's a pretty US based thing, right? But okay, yes. So just break this down because we know each other pretty well and we talk a lot. So I guess I want to avoid us talking about things and revisiting things that we know exactly what we're talking about. But for the layman, break this down.
Right.
What does this partnership mean? What kind of fights are we going to see? What kind of fighters are we going to see? And what can we look forward to in the future in a nutshell?
Listen, they want me to bring the fun back into fighting. And if somebody's going to give me artistic control, I'm going to bring a lot of comedy into the fighting. A lot of fight fans these days, especially your average UFC goer, they want that regular ESPN vibe. That's the vibe that's made for the casual fans. That's what brings the casual fans to the yard, like milkshakes. And I'll tell you what, like sometimes we don't all do it for the casual fans. Sometimes we do it for the hardcores. And I think this one's made for hardcore MMA fans that used to love that JMMA style. Those old days when the Japanese MMA shows used to have the freak shows. Now we have something better for Asian MMA. And by the way, it's going out for a US time-based audience. So I think it's going to be much more hardcore. It's 9 to 11 a.m. here on a paradise secluded island where nobody knows where it is. And it's going out there, obviously, that would be like 10 p.m. East Coast time, 7 o'clock California time, you know? And it's, dude, the Camsoda guys, they've done a lot of things right, correct? I mean, as far as the streaming platform, they were kind of some of the pioneers trading currency via a web form like streaming site, you know? They want to now do that for other things. They've done so well that they want to go into other streaming platforms. He wants to be known as a streaming pioneer, and that's what I want to portray for people. So he wants to go into fighting. He wants to go into racing. He wants to go into other types of sport, and I definitely want to help him. I mean, he's telling me that I can get creative. So this is the first show we're doing with them. But in the future, if I can do that passing of currency via the stream, everybody says there's a game changer. That's a real game changer. If you were able to watch a show and tip the fighters, game changer. If you were able to watch the show and say Panda Banks versus Sam Cassidy's happening at the end of mine. This isn't going to happen on this, but say in the future, you were watching it and yourself doing some commentary or whatever, and you're like, you know what? I want Sam Cassidy to try a 360 elbow. And if he does, I'll give him $500. I mean, how does that change things? Changes the lines for sure. You know what I mean? I'll give you $50 if you do the crane kick before you walk out. I'll give you $500 if you walk out and do the worm and you break dance. You know what I mean? The possibilities are endless. And so once I get creative with him, with the guy Icy Mike and the guys from the Camsoda team, sky's the limit, bro. I mean, I think that we're going to do some really weird things. And although not every organization can have those top fighters in the world, like you spoke about before, the Covingtons and George Masvidals of the world, there's no reason why I can't be more entertaining. There's no reason why I can't be more entertaining. There are far many more fight videos from other smaller organizations that have multi-millions, if not billions of hits because of some odd, you remember the 2 versus 1 Batman and Robin versus Spider-Man. How many views does that have? Well, now I'm having tens of millions. Now I'm having a Ukrainian lawyer, Mikhail, lawyer from the Ukraine, 1-1 record as a fighter, stepping in to fight a professional breakdancer with no experience in fighting and an amateur fighter with a 1-1 AMI record. I mean, if that ain't a circus, I don't know what is, brother. It's going to be crazy. And all of the matchups are pretty much like that. Right now, we got 8 confirmed fight, 8 title defenses or titles on the line. Nobody's defending. You know what I mean?
Fantastic. And where can everybody watch it? What do they have to do to watch it if you're in Asia, for example?
Well, it'll be on camsoda.com. So you'd have to get a VPN. You have to get the VPN set up and get into there for the actual live go by go. The moment that it's done and the moment that it's not live on their platform, we will then again be just adjusting some of the criteria for the Asian audience, putting it out on our Facebook on a watch party, I think 2 days later, 3 days later. So if you miss it live, you will be able to get to see it on our FB page later in the week. But live is the way to go. We haven't gotten all the information, man. You know, there are powers that are stronger than me involved in this. You know, I have to listen to other people too, and I have to put out fires. You know, again, in Thailand, we had to change. We've already changed the date once. We've already changed the venue once. And the venue that we're at now is still saying that we're not allowed to have people in it, even though reports have come out in Thailand that stadiums are allowed to have people. So everything is day by day. I mean, this is one of the reasons that I love it, is because I feel like I'm a very, very good events coordinator and I roll with the punches. And I mean, you know, we were supposed to be in a 7x7 elongated cage. That's pretty much switched and we're going in a ring, you know? First time that a Full Metal Dojo show has been in a ring. We're doing that for the ease of the circus fights, for the ease of the fighters, but also because at this time, certain businesses have been kicked in the dick so hard. A lot of the people that make canvases, make cages, some of those businesses don't even exist anymore in Thailand. And that's due to COVID. You know what I mean? So we used to have options galore and now we don't. And so when you don't have options, pull the trigger, execute it, get it done. I mean, it sounds super violent, but if you want the show to continue, you want the show to go on, gotta make some decisions and throw it out there, you know? So that, you're with me, right?
Yes, sir, mate. So what about yourself in terms of Full Metal Dojo? Then we've got this circus show coming up to look forward to. You're planning to go with another Full Metal Dojo show in the classic sense in the not too distant future, right?
Yeah, it should be September 14th. Around then would be the just a regular FMD. And by that, I just mean that there won't be lopsided fights. There won't be open weight fights. There won't be 2 versus 1. It'll be mainly be a card consisting of obviously regular weight classes and things of that nature. Kicks and 12 to 6 elbows, as FMD has always done. But yeah, I mean, been looking at trying to have Top Noi versus Dream Man. Like been thinking about that one for real, which I think is like probably one of the biggest Thai versus Thai MMA matches that could ever happen. There are so many fighters that are here that are out of work that, again, I think that the other organizations and myself are just trying to provide for these guys. So we're doing our best to get them in there. It's just not easy. And fighters are never patient. Fighters are like the least patient people in the world. You know, why don't you have my flight bought today? Why don't you have my flight bought 2 weeks ago? You know why? You want to know why, fighter? Because if I buy your ticket and then you back out, who's out of pocket? Not you, son. Not you. Me. This guy. So I'm not doing it. Everything is done at our own speed because I'm not listening to anybody. Because, again, if you don't want on board with the show, A-okay. The show will continue to roll down the tracks without you. You know what I mean? But, yeah, planning on doing that that next FMD show. And then I'll take some time off. I'm gonna have another kid, as you know. So like we got to do that. We got to do that wife kid family thing, and then we'll look to have another show later in late November, early December, and that's our year. But aside from that, working on trying to get Eat Play Fight back up and running with you. Looking to get BKFC Asia up and running with Dave Feldman. Looking to have more WLC with Gerald. And, you know, again, I want to work with these different organizations. I don't want to be just tied down to one, not even my own. You know, I'm very realistic about the sport, the entertainment, and where it can go.
Well, you know, I love you, mate. Always trying to do something exciting. This is, after all, an exciting sport. So why wouldn't you? Great to talk to you. Make sure you check out the Camsoda FMD Circus show. It's going to be unique, to say the least. I'm looking forward to that one, and always look forward to a Full Metal Dojo. I think Dream Man versus Top Noi could be one of the most important bouts in Thai MMA history. I'd love to see that happen. So watch this space. Yeah. Go follow John. Go follow Full Metal Dojo. Good times, mate.
For sure.